Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Carly Bell, and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. And today we are continuing with our Kimberbell Star Spangled Beauty Sew Along. I had my book somewhere to show you, but I lost it. But I don't need to show you the book anymore because now we have a nearly finished product to show you what we're working on. So this is something that we started back in the middle of April, and I've been going live about 2 or 3 times a week, and we've completed two of these blocks for each class. And last week, we finished making all the blocks and we pieced them together. And we also started working on piecing. Well, I never got to it, but we were supposed to finish piecing the borders on as well last week. But ran out of time. And what we're going to do at the beginning of this class is finish sewing the borders on and then start working on adding the backing. So I just want to take a second to say good morning to everyone. Hey, Sharon and Alma and Brenda, thank you so much for joining me. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Originally, I was not planning on doing a live for Memorial Day, but the way my schedule has worked out, this is pretty much the only morning that I have free to do this. So if you're joining me, thank you so much. The replay is always available to watch after as well, because I understand today is a holiday. But yeah, that's it. We got pretty far last week. I was so excited to see everything coming together now. So I'm very excited to get this finished. However, there are some things that I'm a little nervous about, but we're going to get through it. So we're going to make everything work. To start with, we're going to finish sewing on the borders. So before class started today, I ironed all my border pieces and I trimmed them because they had a lot of stabilizer poking off the ends and everything. And then this is the scalloped top border. I don't know if you could see. I have not trimmed it yet. So this is where I'm like, the instructions are not super clear. So I'm pretty sure we really need to trim things where the basting stitch is on the quilting itself, but I haven't trimmed it yet just to make sure that I'm doing it right. But the side border pieces are very easy. These are, I think, 1.5 inches wide, and it'll end up being a 1 inch border when we're done sewing everything. So I've sewn one side. The other side I have clipped, but I have not sewn yet. So let's go to the machine and sew that up, and then we'll square off the top and bottom and then start figuring out the top and bottom border pieces. Good morning, everyone. Yes, don't trim until it's attached. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I'm nervous. I'm not trimming anything until we're ready for the things, for the binding and everything. Yay, Berta says she recently bought this pattern but don't have the fabric yet. The fabric kit is gorgeous. I do love it. I got mine. I can't remember if I got it from my girlfriend's quilt shop or Back Quarter Shop, but there should be several places that will have the fabric kit that you can get, and I'm pretty sure I have a link to it on the homepage. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. Let's go ahead and pull that up so everyone can see. If you are new here, like I said, we have been working on this sew along for a good 1.5 months now. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my screens to work the way I want. Okay, so this is my website, carlybell.com. And the first link under this video in the description, you should see a direct link to my sew along page, which is the home page for this project. And our video class schedule. So today is Monday the 25th, and our last class is hopefully going to be Thursday if we can get everything done. We're going to work on the binding on Thursday. And replays of all the videos are here. and then links to all the supplies. So let's see. I think I have Fat Quarter Shop. Yes, so you can get the fabric kit for this project at Fat Quarter Shop for $104. That does not include any of the pattern, the embroidery designs, the background quilting. That is just the fabric. So you can get all the information on where to get all the supplies here, along with thread colors that we're using and a free download PDF organizational chart to help keep things together for you while you are stitching this project. So that resource is there for you on my website. Hey, everyone. Oh, yeah. Linda says try Etsy too. So there's been a few quilt shops that have Etsy stores that I have purchased from as well, especially when I start getting into those older Kimberbell projects that the fabric kits get harder and harder to find, and the embellishment kits get harder and harder to find. Etsy is your friend. Lots of small quilt shops will open up an Etsy store so that they can serve a larger population. So that is something definitely to keep in mind. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. I clipped it on my pegboard here. Yeah. And all I've done here is clip the binding. Now, with this one, I was like, let me just line up the top and stitch. And I didn't do a great job of lining it up. So it's actually a smidge short. So on this one, I'm not taking that chance. I'm leaving an overhang. We're going to stitch and then I'll trim it after. And then for the bottom, same thing. So this down here. So you could see like this was all the overage, the extra that I stitched. And then we'll trim that after. Okay, so I got my sewing machine ready. And oh, actually, I'm going to start stitching from the bottom on this one. So this is what I'm doing, but I mean, you can do this however you want. The binding has the word America and then Home Sweet Home. I have it to where the words are facing, I guess, inward, so I can read it. The bottom of the lettering is touching the quilt on both sides. Does that make more sense? So I could read it going up that way and read it going down that way. So that's going to be a preference thing, whatever you want to do. But now this one, I need to start stitching from the bottom. So it is very good that I have some overage on both sides. This is going to get a little... The camera might be in my way a little bit now that I'm looking at it. So I might be moving the camera. We'll see. All right, but I got my dual feed foot, which is like a fancy walking foot with my 1/4 inch guide on it. And I'm using a 2 millimeter stitch length. And I'm going to do a locking stitch at the beginning and end just to make sure things are staying. And it's a bit awkward because the quilt is getting heavy and it's hanging below. I'm kind of like using my stomach to press the quilt against my table so that it's not leaving like drag pulling it this way. But it's like a few factors because I don't have the space to like let it just sit, lay flat going side to side. I'm a little crammed here. It's just watching and making sure nothing's pulling on it while it's stitching. I also should have checked my bobbin before I started stitching this because it was getting low. Okay, it's still there. I have a metal bobbin in right now, so my sensor is not going to detect when my bobbin thread is getting low and needs to be replaced. Oh, see, it's already pulling it to the side. All right. Okay, still got bobbin. All right. Now I don't see bobbin anymore. Yep, bobbin just went away. Okay, cut. I don't need to cut because there's nothing underneath it. Okay, so my bobbin quit right here. It's probably the last time I looked, it was there and it went away immediately after. Okay, that's no problem. Come on. There we go. So I am not going to wind my bobbin on that metal one again because that is a problem every time that I don't know when it runs out. So I'm going to take one of my clear empty bobbins and cut this. And I think I'm going to do white bobbin thread for the backing too, for the stitch in the ditch. Oops. All right, so I need to go here, around, make sure it's in that tension disc good. Around, 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 around. Let me get a little bit more. Cut. There we go. Let that wind and have a sip of coffee. Okay, so Linda asked a great question. So when I cut initially for the fabric prep, did I cut the standard or the block by block size? I did the block by block size. Okay. That is nice and full. Looks like it wound nicely. Put that in counterclockwise. Okay, I need to rethread my top. Okay, now I can back up where I left off and I will go a little bit further back so that I lock in those stitches. Okay. I was always using the metal bobbin for my white bobbin thread. That was easy for me to distinguish that it was 40 weight white thread and not 90 weight rewound like I usually use for my embroidery. But I think the better solution would be, ooh, we got a big bump here, and that's that roof for the house. I knew there was a bump there because that embroidery was so dense. I had to iron it all to one side. I couldn't open my seam. Okay. All right, so we are done with the side border. Let me turn my iron on. And we are going to press those seams open, and then we will be able to figure out the top and bottom borders. And I have, look how pretty this backing fabric is. Part of me wants to use this for something else, like actually make a little mini quilt, treat it like a panel and just quilt it and use something else on the back of here. Kind of what I want to do. But I'll just buy more of this because I don't have any other fabric to use for the back of this currently. Now, however, on some of my other quilts that I've done with Kimberbell, where like maybe the backing material did not come with the fabric kit, I've just used muslin for the back of them. And some of my other smaller quilting projects where you're never going to see the back, it's a wall hanging or it's a table runner, you're not going to see the back. You can also just use muslin for the backing. Okay, now with the borders, I don't think we want to press them open. I think we want to press them to the sides. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and I wanted to tell, I think it was Joanna and some other friends recommended that this guy, I got it. My quilt shop lady ordered it for me. I don't think I'm supposed to, this is better when I'm opening seams, right? I don't think it's super helpful for what I'm doing right now, but I did use it for some, when I think when I ended class the other day, I didn't have all the sections pieced together when the live ended because it started raining and I had to go get Abigail from the bus. And she was very thankful that I went and got her from the bus because she would have got drenched walking home. I used that, what is it called? I already forgot the name of it. That thing I just showed you to press open the seams when I was at connecting the sections of the quilt, and it worked very nicely. Great for opening seams, but can be used to push to the side too. Okay. All right. Something else I want to tell you when you are pressing these borders, be mindful of your specialty things like the vinyl. I don't think the lace gives me trouble, but don't want to press that clear vinyl. My seams are going to be bulky because there is batting in my seams for my border. I should have made, I think, a different size when I stitched it out, but I'm still really not sure about it. Okay. That's one side. I ordered a different fabric to use for the backing. You can purchase the cheater print if you want. I think that would make a great backing for your quilt, but I understand wanting to use something else too. Like you said, just buy some more. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I know I can just buy it by the yard. I want to say Fat Quarter Shop has it. Um, so I can just buy it. And I think it would be cute as a little just throw for the couch. And just make my quilt sandwich and then quilt it using my Stellaire and my uh magnetic hoop, and just do some background quilting all over the whole thing like I did my nephew's quilt. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, again, I'm trying to be mindful. I got vinyl on these windows for the little house. And of course, Elise came in here right before I went live, um, just to ask me to make her breakfast. But luckily today, her sister is here, and I told Abigail, I'm like, you are in charge of fixing breakfast. Please feed your sister. Because Abigail can cook eggs. And that's mainly what Elise wants, is eggs. We had Elise's birthday party this past weekend. I know I told y'all her birthday was last weekend, but she needs to celebrate the whole month. So her real birthday was the previous weekend, and then her birthday party was Saturday, and we had it at this place we've had the girls' birthday party there several times. It's called the Makery, and it's these two teachers, um, and they are just so crafty, and they love making all the things. And so they opened up this place where you can have kids' birthday parties. That's just one of the things. You can have like girls' night, where you can go there with a group of your friends and make anything with painting, epoxy. They here in New Orleans, one of the really pretty things that they have on Mardi Gras floats are these big, like almost paper mache flowers. They'll do that. They'll make the paper mache flowers, and they will make door hangers, all kinds of stuff. And so Elise um, opted to make these little wooden signs for the stuffed animals she was telling y'all about last week, the jelly cats. They made the sign for the jelly cats, and it came out super cute. I posted it in my stories if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Um, and you can see, but I'm sure if she barges in here later, I will tell her to come bring you her sign so you can see it. Okay. All right. So we have borders. Cute, cute. Now we want to square the top. So let's do that. Okay. I got this the wrong way. And I'm trying to decide what to use to line up everything. Okay, that looks good, I think. Yes. It's a little more than I wanted to take off the top, but it'll be okay. Okay. Yeah, because the lace block doesn't look straight. It's going to get covered with the thing. No, I'm not happy with this, but I don't think there's a way I can fix it without cutting more this way. But then this is not straight. Let's see. Yeah, my rule is moving. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so that is the top. And now let me do this. Linda says, I'm with Elise. As I get older, I want to celebrate the whole month. Oh, yeah, that's the whole conversation in my house. Every time I want something from my husband, I'm like, but it's my birthday month. Like it goes from my birthday weekend to my birthday week. It's my birthday month. It's still my birthday month. Hello, Elise.
Is Dad home?
Dad is not home.
But why?
Because he is at work. Okay. So we are going to do this. Go get your jelly cat sign to show everybody. I was telling them about your birthday party. Okay. So what I'm doing here, oh, here comes the cat. This is like perfect. Okay, this is her jelly cat sign she made at the makery. So they have a laser cutter, which, you know, if you've known me for a while, I've been obsessed and wanting a laser cutter forever. And they also have a 3D printer, which is now my new obsession. I think I want one of those too. Anyway, I sent her a picture.
I got a dragon from the 3D printer.
Yeah, we got to fix it though.
It broke.
Yeah.
All my friends had a dragon like this one, and I wanted to get one.
So this was made with a 3D printer.
It's a little wiggly worm dragon.
Yeah, but it came unhooked right here. But I think I can glue it and fix it.
But if you glue it, will it still be wiggly worm?
I think so. Yeah, because just the piece. Let me put it on the side. I'll fix that later. But she cut the house, and then they etched in.
And they let us use paint markers.
The name, and then they cut the cat on a separate and etched in the details, and then they cut this frame, and then they glued it together. But isn't that cute?
It's supposed to look like the tag. I go get the tag.
Go get the tag. All right, while she's getting that, I think this lines up perfectly. So I'm basically just flipping that over and clipping that into place. Okay, so that's done, and I'm going to turn this around and do the other side. Okay. This side looks a lot better, where we are just going to need to cut off the borders and not trim anything with the actual blocks. Yes, that looks good.
I couldn't find my tag and my tag bin.
Look, don't you have a tag on your purse?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay. So that is ready.
I had my school stuff in it.
Okay. Okay, wait. This is the Jellycat tag.
Wait,
so you can see this.
The color is perfect.
The color is perfect. You did excellent. And there's Elise's sign. So isn't that cute? Okay.
Somebody said the wall hanging turned out beautiful.
Yes, isn't it pretty? Almost done. Okay. So here's the scalloped.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, now.
You
okay?
Yeah.
All right, close the door behind you, please.
Except my
This is
sign my sign hit my cheek.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, now this is the.
Keep scratching me.
I'm sorry. This is the stitch line from when we did this. I don't know if you can see that. But this is where we should actually be stitching. So I think I need to trim at least I'm not going to mess anything here, but I think I do need to trim this to the stitch line before we sew it onto the bottom, because what's going to happen is if I do this and stitch it, it's still going to have, it's not going to be as close as I think we want it to be, more like here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do that. Let's see. I have to unclip the other one now too. Because what I did earlier, because when we put the fabric on the hoop for the embroidery, we had a 1/2 inch seam. And then I was like, well, let me trim it a 1/4 inch from this line. But really, I think we need to trim it on that line. Okay. Okay. So there. And now when we stitch it, that is our 1/4 inch seam allowance. And this is where you'll actually see it. And that's right where the batting starts. Same thing here. When I do trim it, I'll be trimming it along this stitch line, and that's going to give us our 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. Okay. I think that's going to be better. Now we do this. Linda likes the dragon. The dragon's so cute. Yeah, and it came in an egg. It came in this really pretty 3D printed like dragon egg, and it unscrewed and the dragon was inside. And but this broke literally the day she got it. So it makes I'm like, I don't know how. And it's like on the verge. I have to glue this like just right. I don't know if it's gonna actually work when I'm done putting it together. Trying to fix it. We'll see. Okay, top of the quilt. Scallop. Let's see. The backing is going to make the scallop pop. Yes. So we actually have a red fabric for the binding. That's going to be super cute. What do you need, Elise?
I'm not here.
You're not here. No, I'm going to my sewing machine. Don't go over there. Okay, so now we're going to go sew the top and bottom borders and then square everything. And then we can get the backing fabric ready. Okay, so this time I can roll things because we're working with the width of the quilt, not the length like we were previously. So this will make it a little easier to work with, possibly.
What should I have for breakfast?
I don't know. Sissy can make you eggs. Or y'all can go make their croissants and fill them with things.
What do we fill them with?
String cheese, ham and cheese, pepperoni.
She's not gonna want to make it.
Yeah, she will. She's done it before, hasn't she? She's the one that showed us that, I think.
No.
Didn't she? I know you showed me, but I think she did it before that even. Okay. Well, you show her. Bye. She knows how to use the oven. All right, close my door.
And since you're not here, it won't save you one.
You're not saving me one? Thanks a lot. And be nice to your sister.
Okay.
She has this thing where we buy the Grands croissants in the biscuit can, and we, they come in long triangles, and we'll take like a piece of string cheese and roll it up. We'll do string cheese with pepperonis and roll it up. I'll do pieces of ham sandwich meat and cheese and roll it up. We do all kinds of. She's always looking for new things to fill her croissants with, and we usually do that on the weekends. But it's been a couple weekends since we've done it. So summertime, every day's a weekend. To them, at least. Okay. All right, my window. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna pull my sewing machine more this way. I think that'll help because I'm smushing this thing back to the window. And Elise is calling me on the phone. 1 second, guys. Let me go see what the problem is. Abigail? Can you go help your sister make croissants, please? No, I told her to go ask you to make croissants.
Sissy keeps saying that I can't go in your room.
Okay.
She's saying that she's not going to make me croissants if I go in there again.
It's okay, Abigail. Just go make her croissants, please. Abigail's telling her if she comes back in this, and she's trying to help me by telling Elise not to disturb me. But Elise is very stubborn. And so she told her if she comes back in my room again, she's not going to make her croissants. And Elise is like, oh, yeah? Watch me. Okay, I'm unrolling my quilt on my table real quick to get us situated to the other side now, but we need to do this so you can see. Okay. It's coming to
Cheesy sticks, but we only have 3.
string cheese.
Yeah.
3 is more than enough. That gives you 6 croissants. You cut them in half.
Oh, okay.
Abigail, breathe. It's okay. It's okay. She's been coming in here at all the classes since y'all been done with school. Oh, goodness. All right. So we have borders, bottom and top. Let me clean this up. Turn the iron back on. Okay. And now we can press these open. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to push them out. Oh, geez. I hear screaming. Oh, it's going to be a lovely Monday, guys. Okay. Ooh, Linda, Elise is going to love your idea because she loves chocolate. She says croissants with Hershey squares. And she's on GLP-1 and encouraging being bad. I love it. But Elise is going to love that idea. I'm surprised she hasn't thought of that before. She's my chocolate girl. She loves all chocolate, all things chocolate. And Abigail's the opposite. She doesn't really like chocolate at all. Okay, that's pressed. Maybe let's go ahead and while I have this like rolled. No, I'm not worrying about it. Let's unroll. And other side. Okay. Oh, this came out very nice. This is what I was worried about because it felt like I had trimmed it on an angle. And I was worried about the lace looking really off, but that came out just right. Mhm. Okay. All right. What is the magnet for the scissors on my machine? So the cute little kitty cat magnet that you might see there. I got that from Missouri Star Quilt Company in their Christmas Advent box. The Jenny's Countdown to Christmas. I got that in there last year. And I get asked that several times. So I need to write myself a note to look it up and see if they sell that. Or if anyone's not busy right now and just playing on a computer, go search Missouri Star Quilt Company and see if they have a suction cup magnet. That's the words I think I would use to search it. Okay. We are pressed. Okay. And okay, that looks good. Missouri Star was sold out. Look on Amazon. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, that's that side. And then last one. Okay. So that is done. So now we have borders. Let's see. Everyone see that? That's upside down. Let's go this way. How does that look? And then all the way to the bottom. Boop. There we go. On my tippy toes as much as I can. All right, so now that we have this done, I am going to leave the scallop bits alone and focus on adding the backing. All right. Now, because we already have our batting incorporated into all of our blocks, you don't need to make a quilt sandwich of your top, your batting, your backing. Um, However, if you want to, by all means, go ahead. It's not going to hurt it at all. I am just going to add the backing. And one thing I noticed before I started today's live is that the fabric that came in my fabric kit is not long enough to do just one piece. So I am going to have to cut this and sew it a piece on the bottom so that it can be the full length. However, because these are made to look like quilt blocks, I think it's going to be fairly easy to try and cut between these lines here and sew them so it looks nice, even though no one's going to see the back of the quilt. I'm still going to do it. It's fine. All right. But I need to figure out how wide of a strip. Okay, so my quilt is, let's start on the 10, is 20 inches wide, pretty much. So how wide of this should I cut? Like 25 just to be safe. And there's some selvage on either end. So I can cut on this side 25 inches and then cut. Let me make sure I got enough. That's 25. Nope, I don't have 25. So I might be going too wide with that. Then let's do 22. Yes, I got enough to get two widths. I'm sorry, y'all can't see what I'm doing, but I have enough to cut 22-inch this way and 22-inch this way. So if I cut the full 22-inch down, I can still have a 22-inch piece on this side and maybe just use however long more I need to add to the bottom of the other one so that I have the full length, because I want to say it's around 60 inches long. So this is a larger piece of fabric that I am not good at cutting large pieces of fabric, but the little bit that I learned from my class is iron it first, then fold it in half, and I should be able to cut my strip. But with everything we were doing in the quilt class, they're like iron it first. And then even though we're still going to fold it, we're not going to baste our fold on the fold crease that was already there. And I don't have a big ironing board to do this on. So I'm just pushing it everywhere and probably not helping much. A little bit more on the bottom here. Okay, so this is just going to take me a minute, so just bear with me. Okay. Delta says it's nicer if you add the batting with the backing. You'll just get a better look when the sun shines through and you won't see the outlines of your blocks. Very good point, Delta. Thank you. I'm trying to remember if I did it in all my previous quilts or not. Oops. Yeah. Okay, one more strip left and the whole thing would have gotten somewhat pressed. And then I can fold it and try and get 22-inch strip. Now, for my friends that have more experience than me, the most that I did was fold the fabric in half and cut my strips when I was doing my quilting class. I don't have a lot of space. It would be really better if I could fold it over twice. Do you think that is okay? But I know the whole thing with folding it in half is like, she told me like to make sure it's level. And oh, another thing is she had me fold it from selvage to selvage. If I do that, I could still get the length I need. Yeah. It'll be more equal. That might actually be better. You could add a solid edge. Won't even have to cut your backing. Are you going to cut a single layer? With my luck, it would be crooked. Okay, so I have my big piece of fabric. Okay, so this is what my lady at my quilt shop taught me. She's like, so you fold, you know, have it all ironed and selvage to selvage. I'm pretty sure that was what we did. And then that gets you gravity to help determine the folds at the bottom of this. But this is such a wide piece. When I was doing it, I was only doing it with like a 1/4 yard or half yard. Okay, if I do this, what is this? This gives me 21, 22 this way. So sewing two pieces together still won't make my length for the 60. So I feel like I still need to cut this way. So then that would have me fold it the opposite. See, it's silly things like this I struggle with. This probably makes like total common sense to someone else, but to me, I'm like questioning everything I'm doing. I'm like, am I doing this right? But with this, I have like, say 26. I don't know if I was adding right earlier. Roberta, you too. Okay. I was thinking, another thing I was learning about like cutting with the grain and things like that, like all kinds of things like I never thought about before. Because I always just cut little small applique pieces of fabric. I never cut, like was worried about cutting things so precisely. All right, I'm just going to do it. I can't sit here and think about it all day. It's never going to get done. And if I mess up, I mess up and I use a different piece of fabric and I use this for something else. Okay, so I have my fabric folded in half, and what I'm going to do, because this doesn't have to be perfect, this is just the backing. If the sides are cut or wonky or whatever, is I'm lining it up on the backing so it looks straight, but there's some overage on all the sides. So this is not like cutting quilt pieces for quilt blocks, because I need to start with a straight edge and all of those types of things. So, but I need 22 inches. So y'all are not going to be able to see all this. Maybe. Okay. So here's the edge of my mat. And this is where I'm like, it would be really helpful if I could do this. And because, again, I'm not really using this for trying to piece some blocks. I think I am. I'm going to fold it over. Okay. And then let me just make sure I got enough to give me another width at the bottom. Yeah. Some selvage might be poking out, but that'll be good. All right, this is what I'm going to do. And stop worrying so much. Okay, so this gives me an inch on either side. But now that I've cut that, now I'm like, well, I'm going to line this up. It's shifted, so it's just going to be what it is. It's fine. The stars will be shifted. They're not going to line up right underneath one another when I add on the bottom. But again, no one is looking at the back. So what I need to do is, let me go ahead and I will give myself a straight edge on this. And I got a nice little line here. That I can do. There we go. So this is going to be where I'm connecting these. And so I need to do the same thing here. And I'll use this line as a guide for this one because this one goes up to too much. So this is where they're going to connect. It's going to look a little off, but it's fine. And actually one of these is smaller than the other. They got selvage over here. Okay. Thank you, Linda. She's like, no quote police here. I'm probably making some people cringe. And I've had comments about me making people cringe when they see me use my hot glue gun to add embellishments to quilts. So it's fine. Joanna, how you're doing over there? I'm probably making you cringe. But Joanna's nice about it. She's not police. She's very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to go sew this. And now I have an extremely long strip of fabric, and then I'll just trim it after and make it just a little bit longer than what the quilt needs to be. Oh, I see. Okay. Because someone said something like that earlier and I didn't quite get it. Okay, so Berdu says I could have two bigger cuts and add a solid coordinating fabric strip in the middle to tie it together and cut the off parts that you don't like. Yeah, so then you don't have to worry about lining things up correctly, right? Okay. Let's go to the machine and let me make this camera a little better. Okay. This is a lot easier to work with than the quilt because it's not so stiff. Okay. Okie dokie. Now we can press this open. Is this one using my little thing will be handy like that. Okay. So here is my continuous back for the quilt. There we go. Not bad. Now, this is going to be a little harder because in the past, I have prepped all this off camera on the floor in my playroom where we're going to be doing it here. And I don't have a big enough table space, but this is a ladder quilt. So I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit better. So we are going to baste this on the back. I'm doing it this way so I can see it a little better. I'm gonna have to make sure I got ample stuff on each side. And you'll see like I have some, oh wait, no, you can't see. Can you do this? All right. So I have some poking out on either side and some above. And so that's going to be what we're going to do with basting this. And then I'm also going to add safety pins to it to help the backing stay where it's supposed to. So I think this looks about good. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to do this. So what we're gonna do is if I have this straight like this, that'll be good. Okay, I'm trying to keep all my area good. And where is my basting spray? I moved it somewhere. And I don't remember where. Oh, where did I put it? It wasn't here. This is what happens when I try to straighten up. I lose it. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Hello. Now, one of these does not spray well. Let's see which one it is. This one sprays good. Okay. Spray. Use this line right here. You can see going across. That looks good. And so now that we've got it started, and now what we're going to do on the sewing machine is stitch in the ditch. So everywhere that there is a seam where the blocks are connected, I'm going to run my invisible fishing line string thread through right in the seam line, and I have a stitch in the ditch foot for my walking foot. So that is what we're doing here. So wherever I put the safety pins, I'm going to like take them out as I go around a whole one, but I kind of want to position them where they're not going to be in my way. And we'll also be doing the border edge here, like all along where the blue meets everything. So I'm just going to start pinning. And then as I pin, I'm going to roll and then baste the rest. And this is going to take a little while, which is why I usually like to have it done before we start. But we weren't finished with the borders, and I didn't want to do the borders where y'all didn't see. So now we just see everything, which is better. And just and these safety pins are like curved, and I got them on Amazon, and they are listed on the supply page that I showed y'all earlier, which is like the home page for this quilt. All right. If Joanna says it's looking great, then I'm very pleased. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind with these safety pins is you don't want to go through things that will leave a hole, like your vinyl. Okay. And like this is a filler block. I'm just going to do the top of the house here and work my way. I might not put one in every single block. Well, actually, I shouldn't put that there because that's too close to the stitch line. Thank you. Thank you. I wouldn't call myself brave. I'd call myself a procrastinator, because the problem is I would not complete it if I didn't do it live. So this is my way of forcing myself to get it done. Okay, now as far as stitching the ditch for the flag, I might just go around the whole thing. I don't necessarily need to go in all those lines, but you can. So it's really up to you. Okay, I'm going to do as close to that vinyl without poking my vinyl. There we go. And we're just moving down. You could put a couple in here. Are you going to bind it with the backing fabric? No, I have binding fabric, and that's going to be lots of firsts with this project from me. And do remember, I'm doing it all live in front of you for the first time. So, like Linda says, please no quilt police. What I was going to say. The binding is, this will be the first time I'm doing cutting the binding on the bias to make my binding strips. That's going to be a first, which I did talk to my quilt lady last week at my class and asked her about it. And she said for the method that she likes is to figure out how she can have a square, she has the piece of fabric, whatever the width is, cut a square, and then have another same size. No, have a square. Cut the square at a diagonal, then take that rectangle, that triangle, and turn it this way, and then sew it together. I probably did not explain it very well, but it's something of that nature. Like cut a square, cut it on a diagonal, and then like tumble those triangles so that and then sew them together, and then cut your strips. And it's easier than trying to cut a big diagonal. Problem with mine though is that I looked at the fabric. I smell croissants. Hopefully they remember to turn the oven off. I looked at the fabric and they gave me like a 14-inch strip, a 14-inch piece width of fabric. So it's not very wide. So I don't know if I should like cut multiple 14-inch squares. So I still need to do a little research on that. But that's what we're going to do on Thursday. So hopefully I'll have a game plan. But yes, they do recommend we cut the binding on or bias binding tape because we are going to be doing another first is the scalloped binding on the top and bottom border. And so now that I'm learning more and more about fabric grain, that tells what I've learned is that I have the most stretch. I need to have the stretch. And if I cut it on the bias, that will allow the binding to turn nicely. Is that right? Okay. So I'm just smoothing this out and keep working our way down to the bottom. And so you could see the back here, and I could see where all my safety pins have gone through the back. And then what I'll end up doing is rolling this. And when I take it to the machine, I'll start it. You could start at the middle if you want. I've started previously, I think I started in the middle. I've also like started at the top and worked my way down. I think there's a couple ways to do it. But starting in the middle and working your way out might be best. Okay. Okay, let's see. Liz says, I usually use Susan Cleveland method for cutting fabric on the bias. Okay, I have to look that up. I'll also have to write that down because I'm going to forget it immediately after I'm done this video when I'm going to want to remember it. I hear scream. I'm trying to determine if the screaming I'm hearing is good as screaming or bad screaming. I don't think it's bad screaming. Okay, if you're just coming in, my kids are home. It is summer break. They got out of school last week and they are cooking or baking, should I say. Abigail's helping Elise make croissants. So hopefully there will not be a panic at any point in this video, but let's just say I am always concerned. But I know Elise will come barging in here if there's anything to be worried about. She will also come barging in here if there's nothing to worry about. This is so pretty. I'm loving the way this is coming out. Okay. And this is when I'm also going to cut the extra. What I can do with this is probably just make a little table runner. Little skinny, long table runner with that extra fabric and just quilt it. That is what I can do. Okie dokie. So there it is. And I'll just cut on this line. Okay. And we have it sandwiched. Okay, so this is what I have left. I think that could be a very cute quilted table runner. Yay, I like that. And if I get good at the whole scalloped binding would be even precious. More precious is to have scalloped binding on the edges of the table runner. Yay. Okay. Phew. All right. So now I need to go load. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do this run and this run. I think I'm going to do the sections. Yeah. Let's do all 4 sections because I know all those go straight across. Have that done. And then I'll probably start working in the middle and then down and out. And then I'll just keep working until y'all are completely bored. And, and then I'll finish the rest after. So, okay, I'm taking this off. This is my quarter inch foot thing. And I have a stitch in the ditch. One. And this just snaps right on. If I line it up correctly. Where's the thing? There we go. All right, so that is there. And I'm going to keep the white bobbin and find my fishing line thread is here. This is from Sulky. They have some other people that make it too. But this is the one I bought when I first started doing Kimberbell projects. And I'm going to put a guard, what do you call that? Spool guard at the top there, because those types of spools of thread, I find they never feed off them nicely. Okay. And threaded nice. Good, good. All right. And I don't think I need, let's see. What if we did a straight stitch? I'm going to do a 2.5 millimeter stitch length, and I'll do a locking stitch at beginning and end for each one. Yes, Trish is asking if I'm using invisible thread. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to start in the middle and go straight across. So I'm going to get it to where my needle is going to go down right where the border meets this line, and I'm going to go straight across. No, I'm actually in the border. Let me go a little bit more there. There we go. Okay. And it's going to do a locking stitch. And I just let my little foot guide me. And if I don't do it perfect, it's okay because the thread's invisible. Which, oh, I'm way off now, see? This is why we're glad the thread's invisible. You know, it's the laser's throwing me off. There we go. Now I can see. I'm going to get right till the needle gets in that border and lock it. Or a back stitch, whatever your machine has and what you prefer. Okay, so we did that. Now let's do this straight line across. I think right there, that looks good. Okay. And you see, this is when you want your safety pins to not be close to your stitch line so they're not in your way. one more. Oop, okay. Okay, so we did that one. We did the middle one. Now let's go up. That one straight across here. Let's do that. And this is when I think this fancy walking foot that I have probably makes a huge difference, because I have not tried to do this, I think, without this foot. I can't remember if on the first sew along I did was the Kimberbell Oh So Delightful quilt. I'm pretty sure I used, something's happening. I knocked something off the back of my table. It's fine. Probably my embroidery foot. I usually have it sitting behind my machine. Okay. And okay, we got all these. Let's go this way. Where's the line? Okay, so here is a straight across, connecting sections 1 and 2. Okay. So now we got all the sections that have the whole width besides the where the borders are. I'll probably do, should I do that now? Let's go ahead and get it done. So I'll have all my horizontal full widths of the quilt. There we go. I'll do the length, the whole length border when I'm completely done. Still here screaming downstairs. Okay, so we've done all the horizontals. So that one, above and below the 8-point stars here, and that's it. So now we can, and then the back you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it's just those white lines. You can barely make them out. And now we can start doing some of the verticals and start wherever you like. Let's go around. Let's start at the top of the house. And go this full length down. And then we'll come on the other side and get that. There we go. Okay, and then make sure that's all out of the way. Right there's the end, and we'll cut. Okay. All right, so we did that whole length. And now come on the other side and do this one. We could start even higher. It starts all the way up here. Oops, lace and pin. We got lots of things here. Okay. Perfect. Sorry, I'm concentrating hard, so I'm not talking much. Okay. Oh, wait. Why am I stopping? I could have kept going. I had one more piece to go down. Look, I'll just start back again. Okay. That's a good stopping point. Did I come? No. I stopped here, so I can come down this whole side now. Okay, lock and stitch. And then I have this whole run. I can come down. And then it's going to get to a point where I'm going to forget where I did and where I didn't. And then I'll be looking at the back of my quilt. Just remember. Okay, so let me go check the chat, see any questions. All right. Do I have an extension table for the Stellaire? No, I don't. I wish I did because I was looking. I thought it came with one, but I don't see one in my place where I should have put it. Yeah, Joanna says the move it foot is great for projects like this. Since this isn't going to be used like a normal quilt, I'd say you can do 1/3 or 1/2 of the vertical seams, just enough to keep it together. Okay. You mean like I don't need to go in between every single block, you think? So what I've done so far, like I haven't gone here. Maybe like I'll skip this one. Like that one's probably not necessary. I can go here. I can go there. Like this one might not be necessary either, but I'm just going to do it because even though it stresses me out a little bit, I am having fun. And I don't think I did this one, huh? No, there's nothing there. Okay. Okay. I did in between the 8-point stars. I did all the way down here. I think maybe the only place I didn't do is right here. No, I don't have nothing there. Okay. Okay. So now the question is do I want to go do some more of the horizontals? So, I mean, it's on there pretty good. I think now it really just needs the length of the binding, and I think I never did the bottom. So let's do that. This is a little harder because heavy. Yeah, thread broke. That was pretty good. Took that long for it to break. That was pretty good. Okay. Pull it right here, like it's not. Okay. Make sure I'm feeding this in nicely. I did not thread. It's like something's wrong with the tension. Like even pulling it out of here is it's not happy about something. Okay. I'm gonna try one more time. And if it's not pulling through, then I might call it quits for a little while and come back and mess with it later. But I think y'all got the gist today of what we're doing with adding the backing and the stitch in the ditch, right? Okay, let's see if it works. It feels like it's feeding off nicer. All right, here's where it ended. Okay, let's try. It broke again. Okay, I'm gonna quit and come back and mess with my machine and see. But yeah, I shouldn't have jinxed myself with how it let me do that much and now it broke. Now it's gonna break every 5 seconds. So I'm gonna play with that and get it back. And then I am going to finish stitch in the ditch. Probably, I think the only other bit I'm going to do is the other long border, and I think the bottom border I didn't do. And then that's going to be it. And I'm going to do some more research on the bias binding. I got my notebook. What was the method that y'all said a second ago? Let me look up. It was someone's name. Susan Cleveland. Okay, I'm going to look that up. And I'm going to do a little more research and be ready for Thursday's class. And probably what I'm going to do so that we can really focus on adding the binding is I'm going to try to have all my binding tape ready to go. And then I'm going to use some scrap fabric to show you how to do the bias, cutting it on the bias and creating the bias binding tape. And then I'll have all of my pretty one ready to go. This is the fabric for the binding. You can see it's really pretty. It's a 14-inch wide width of fabric piece. So this is why I want to make sure. I'm probably even going to practice on some scrap fabric before I cut this. to make sure I have a handle on it. And then next class, I'll teach you what I learned about making the bias binding tape. And then we will add the binding to the quilt and try to make those pretty scallop borders. We're going to see how it goes. It's going to be a first for me, and I'm sure it's a first for a lot of y'all as well. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so pretty. It's going to be finished. Something else I need to read. I don't remember where my book is, but oh, here it is. There are some pieces that tie that you can add to the top of your quilt so that you could tie it to the ladder. I do want to add those. I have those pieces cut, the little blue pieces. And I need to figure out, when do we add those? These ties can be added to hang the quilt from the quilt ladder. So it says fold them, top stitch along each strip, set the ties aside for later use. Okay. Trim the scallops on each end of the quilt following the scallop tracing or the fabric tack down line. If you did the block by block quilting, we did that. If using the optional ties, turn the quilt to the back. Find the center of the second scallop from the edge of each side along the top edge of the quilt and mark with a pin. Center the ties on each mark and with the raw ends of the ties aligned with the raw edge of the top of the quilt, baste the raw edges and the ties in place, and then bind as desired. If using the optional ties, the binding stitches will hold the ties in place. Be sure to backstitch to reinforce your binding stitch when sewing across the ties. Okay, so we'll add the ties in when we do the binding. Okie dokie. All right. Berto says the Juki that I have would probably work easily for the stitch in the ditch. I agree with you. I don't have stitch in the ditch foot for it though. I've been shopping online and I don't have that many feet that came with it, but I need to buy some feet. So I have like free motion quilting foot, which is something I've been wanting to do. This is a walking foot, yeah. I have this. I haven't messed with it. And that's it. I think I have a zipper foot. That's all I have for that machine. So I want like a 1/4 inch foot. And there's a foot I've seen a lot of people do their binding on a Juki, and is it like left compensating foot, something like that. So like one piece sits lower than the other, and that works beautiful for binding because of the drop in the fabric where you roll it over. Anyway, I need some feet for my Juki. That's on my shopping list, as with a lot of other things. Oh, speaking of shopping, look what I bought. Let me show you this. Let's see. Linda says, I have ordered the Ackfield wire hanger instead of using a ladder. Ladders seem expensive. Okay. I have not looked for a ladder yet, so I will let you know if I find one that is not as expensive. But I wanted to show you real quick. How do we zoom in here? I get emails from Quilt in a Day every day, and they show me sales. So this was a sale last week or probably a week before that I thought was super pretty. So this, I want to, I'm already planning the next quilt, even though I'm not finished the other like 3 quilts I'm working on. I've not actually completed any real quilt, but I'm already planning the next. This is called Meadow Moments from Riley Blake. And I found a cute pattern that calls for 1 jelly roll and 1 charm pack. And then I think I need some white fabric as well. And so I have that on a list, but I thought this was super pretty. So that, and then I have always said I'm going to get one of these, and I never have. but there's several people that make them. I want to say the Peggy Stitch Eraser was the first one that I heard of, but this was on sale and I liked how tiny it was. So you can get into tight places, but this is to take embroidery stitches out. So when you mess up, like I have in the past and misspelled a name when I was stitching, I can go and try to they're almost like a beard trimmer pretty much. And it will take off, you go from the back, the bobbin stitching, and then you can pull all the stitches out easy and then restitch whatever it is that you need to. But this, oh, it's even wireless, cordless or whatever. So I bought one of these hoping I never have to use it, but I have it in case I do need to use it. So I just wanted to show y'all those things. Okay, Joanna's asking if my presser foot is up. What do you mean? Okay. Berto saying I don't have a quilt ladder either. Amazon has a few different prices. How did I miss that sale? Girl, Quilting Day has a sale every day. And I have to stop myself from checking that email every day. That and Missouri Star Quilt Company. They send me sale emails every day and I try not to look. But it does pique my interest when I'll look at the fabric lines that will sometimes those will be like 40% off for the day and free shipping. So all of that, what I ordered was also free shipping on top of the sale. So then that really sold me because when you get free shipping, that makes all the girl math better. So yeah, this was probably a week, maybe even more than 2 weeks ago, Trish. I don't know, but I'll be better about telling you about it sooner if I find something better again. But quilting sale, say again, quiltinaday.com. I think what's their website? I'm guessing it's .com. Yes. Okay. So looky over here. I get their email list and today's sale. So they'll email me this every day. So today is blades 55% off. This is I don't know if this is like a whole kit, gives you everything. And that has free shipping. Not everything has free shipping. So this is not. This does. And then 25% off this fabric line. And then this caught my eye. This is super pretty, but this also looks a lot way above my skill level. Well, look how pretty this is. This is a whole kit. So all the fabric and the pattern for $136. So this really caught my eye, but again, that looks way above my pay grade as far as putting something together. But very cute. Always has a good sale. Sign up for their email list, and you can get in trouble like I do and check it too much and buy things too much. So, okay, that's it for today. I will be back on Thursday. Thursday is going to be our last class. I'm so excited to be finished. And then Friday is our VIP membership class. I'm going to be emailing y'all probably tomorrow with everything, but we are going to be making an In the Hoop snap tab project that is kind of Disney World specific. So I'm still brainstorming other ways that we can use this if you're not a Disney person, but it is really made for Disney. And it's so that you can snap your mouse ears in them when you're not wearing them, and it kind of just holds them. And then you can clip this on your backpack or your belt or whatever, so that you could still display them, but not if you're not wearing them on your head. But that's what these are. These are mouse ear holders. And this is a fun In the Hoop snap tab project. We're going to be using faux leather, and it's done in 2 hoopings, and you do need some sort of snap so that you can create the holder bit and then whatever keychain hardware you want. So those are the only like specialty things that you might not have in your craft room already if you haven't done these kinds of projects. Snap, faux leather, keychain, fun stuff. Okay. All right, guys. I hope to see you on Thursday. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Bye.